Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the webinar series on the occasion of PlayStreet's 10th year anniversary. My name is Pranjali. I hope you can all hear me. Yeah. I'm a special educator and psychologist at PlayStreet.
As you all may know, PlayStreet is an organization that provides educational services to help the child with special needs become independent and live up to their full potential. We also offer parent empowerment programs and integrated schooling programs and a variety of other clinical services. So, on our this year marks the 10th running year of PlayStreet, and so we have decided to bring you a series of 10 webinars, which will talk about small things you can do at home to see many big changes. And today's expert is Miraclyn Lydia, who will start off the event with a scintillating conversation about parenting styles. Miraclyn is an occupational therapist who has specialized in the field of pediatrics and has done extensive research on parenting styles during her bachelor's and master's, and understands the pivotal role that it plays on their children. She's passionate about working with children, and she believes that every child is unique in his or her own way. I will now hand over to Miraclyn. I would request that everyone please keep their audios muted so that we can maintain the flow of the event. And if you have questions, you can please type them in the chat box or raise your hands, and we will definitely get back to all of your questions. Thank you. Miraclyn?
Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk about parenting styles. So this entire presentation is completely not about telling you like this is the best parenting style or this is what you got to follow or anything. So this is just general knowledge. I'm giving you knowledge about what are all the parenting styles are there, and just something for you to think about as to, okay, what is my type of parenting that I am using for my child and how is that working out? Or can I try to use this type? Maybe that may work better. So it's just for you to think about. So before we start it off, can I have a show of hands by how many ever has heard about parenting styles? Like if you have heard what parenting styles is, or if you know the different types of parenting styles, you've heard it before. Can I just have a show of hands? So you can go to reactions and there is show of hands, show hands. So if you can just, how many ever? Okay, I see 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so quite few people have heard about parenting styles, which is great. Okay, so I'll be moving on to the topic. Okay, so this is what we are going to be looking at. So we will be looking at the definition and the types of parenting styles, and we will go in detail into each of the parenting styles, and we will also see how it impacts your children. And then at the end, I'll give a few tips to how effective parenting you can, a few tips on how much more effective you can be at parenting. You can put your hands down. Thank you for your response. Okay. So when it comes to parenting styles, so it is a constellation of attitudes or a pattern of parental authority towards the child, so which is given towards the child, and it creates a context for the expression of parent behavior. So if I have to give it in a layman's term, it's basically the way you raise your child. So that is parenting styles. So there are different ways, and the main thing is parent-child interaction, and it is across all the situations. So it is not completely towards just one situation. Maybe it's only at home or when I take my child outside. It's not completely just for one situation. So it's throughout. From the time your child is born, whatever methods that you are choosing, whatever methods that you're doing to raise your child, so that is parenting styles. So the parenting styles that you use, it sets the emotional context for the interaction between the parent and the child, and that impacts your children's quality of life. So the main focus or main characteristic of parenting style has two things. So one is the demand and the other is the response. So demand is something what you expect out of your children. So this is what my child is expected to do. So this is the expectation that you place on your child. And the response is more about the warmth or how much you are indulging, how much you are interacting with your child, how much response you're giving for whatever expectations you are giving, what is the response you're giving to the child for whatever the child is doing. So that is the main characteristics of parenting styles. So based on the demand and the response, so parenting styles are classified into 4 types. So as you can see, so there is high demand, low demand, and there is low response and high response. So based on high demand and low response, you have a parenting style called authoritarian. And then on the opposite side, you have high response and low demand, that is permissive. And then you have high demand and high response, which is called authoritative. And you have low response and low demand, which is uninvolved. So in the upcoming slides, we will be talking about all these 4 types of parenting styles in detail. Okay, so yeah, so this is, now we start with authoritarian style. So as we saw in the previous slide, so authoritarian has high levels of demand and low parental response. So this is also otherwise called as police type of parenting style. You may have seen it, or you personally could have also experienced it, because most of the Asian countries have an authoritarian style of parenting. So this is where, like, okay, you gotta do what I tell you to do. There is no input from the child. There is no place for the child to ask you questions as to why should I do it. There's no explanation given. The only explanation that parents of this type give is that because I said so, because I'm your mom, I'm your dad, you gotta do this. So this is an authoritarian style of parenting. So there is so much of expectation from the parents towards the children, but there is no reciprocation. There's no warmth from the parents to whatever the child is doing. There's no response. There's no warmth. Like there's no like, oh, good job, you did this. This is what I expected of you, and you gave it. There's no response. So the response level is very low in this type of parenting style. And also it's just one-way mode of communication where the parents are talking and the child is expected only to listen. And there is so much of rules given. Like, okay, this is what you have to do. This is how you're supposed to follow. This is how you're supposed to behave. Okay, we're going to go to this place. This is how you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to ask for things. You're not supposed to take things even if they are given. So all of this is, you just demand the child without giving any explanation. You don't tell them like why they're not supposed to take it. So there is no input from the child there. There's no negotiation left. So if a child wants to say like, okay, but can we meet in the middle? Or can we do this instead of what you are telling to do? There's no place for that. So here, one of the characteristics of authoritarian parenting style is punishment. So if the child does not follow the rule, or if the child does not obey what the parents said, you're going to get punished. And it's more like corporal punishment or harsh punishment. Like you may get beaten, the kids may get beaten, or the kids might get something taken off. Okay, so you did this, so I'm not going to give you TV time, or I'm not going to give you this book, or I'm not going to let you do something that you enjoy. You're taking things away. And also then there's a like timeout, like, okay, I'm going to beat you. And they actually do it. So their way of disciplining is corporal punishment, and which is too much for the child. Okay, so this is the authoritarian style of parenting. Can any of you raise hands? Like this is going to be an interactive session. Okay, so if you've had any personal experience or you've seen someone use it, can someone give me an example of authoritarian style of parenting? Can anybody? It can be from what you've observed or what you've seen, because I'm sure there are a lot of professionals also attending this. So anybody you've seen a child with an authoritarian style of parenting? Can you give me an example and maybe a brief description of how the child was because of that type of parenting? Okay, kids' opinion doesn't matter in this type of parenting. That's correct. But can you give me how this affects the children, just based on this, or if you feel like this is going to affect the children, or how it can be a good way or a bad way?
I do this with my son whenever he behaves wrong or whenever
Okay.
he has bad behavior, like whenever he becomes angry or
Okay.
something is not meeting his demand or something, then he starts behaving very bad with others, like he's scratching or he's biting someone. Then I behave like this, that if you scratch or bite someone, then I'll not give you this, or whatever he likes, I will not do that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And I see a lot of chats also. Yeah, they're like low self-esteem, which is extremely correct. And yeah, raises kids' frustration. Yes. Affects their self-confidence. Yes. Due to which he has low socialization skills. Extremely correct. They don't have the option to choose. Yes. And yeah, they're bound to obey when someone is asking something. Yes. And they tend to rebel. Yes. Thank you so much for all your inputs. Yes, we are not much emotionally attached to our parents. Correct. Okay. Thank you for everybody who answered. Yes. So it has good and bad. That's what they tell. But so yeah, there you go. So this is the impact on children. So children who are raised in an authoritarian style, they are the most well behaved in the room. But why? At the cost of what? Why? Because they are conditioned to obey the rules. They are conditioned to sit quietly, not talk. Unless someone is talking to you, you are not supposed to initiate anything. So of course they're going to be the most well behaved in the room. And the other thing, they're better able to adhere to precise instructions required to reach a goal. Yes. So if there's a rule or if there's something they have to follow, they're going to do it really well, because from their childhood, they've been conditioned like that. Rules, rules, rules. You got to follow it to the point. Whatever I say, from A to Z, you got to follow it. So yes, they're going to be very good with following instructions and all. And at the same time, they will not know to question you. They will not know to ask why I'm given this task, why I'm supposed to do this. So that assertiveness will not be there with these kids. All their thoughts are like, okay, they've told this, I need to follow it. And even if it costs their energy or time, they will not question. Because if they question or if they say no, they have this fear in the back of their head that I will be punished. I'll be punished because I'm not following, because I'm back answering. Because every time they've tried to question or every time they've tried to ask for clarification, it may have gone off like, why are you back answering to me? You're not supposed to back answer. So they'll just comply without any questions. And the third thing, higher levels of aggression. So there is levels of aggression, but mostly it would be towards authoritative figure, because at their home, authoritative figures are parents, mom and dad. So they have been telling them what to do every step of day, every step of their time. So most of the aggression would be towards authoritative figure. Like when they come to their teenage or like pre-teens, they will rebel against the teachers. They'll rebel against whoever is trying to give them something to do. They'll rebel against that. They will not adhere. That is their only way of them gaining control. So rebellion. And then yeah, socially inept. So yeah, their social skills will come down because they were not given an environment where it was equal give and take. I talk, you listen. That was the only thing that they know. So maintaining a conversation to ask for something what they want, they may not know. So as one of you had put, because her husband had this type of parenting styles. His socialization skills are down. Yeah, so that's a major impact on this type of parenting style. And also unable to make their own decisions. They may not know because throughout their life, their decisions have been made by their parents or by someone else. So they don't know. They don't know how to choose. They don't know what is best for them. So they haven't understood the trial and error. Okay, let me try this. Okay, if this does not work out, it's okay. I can maybe try that. They may not know how to make their own decisions. And because of all of this, they have poor self-esteem and they're more prone to internalizing behavior. That is, if whatever they're feeling, they'll just keep it to themselves. They'll not share. They will not, because they don't know how to share. They won't know how to tell it out that, okay, I'm having this problem. So they won't know. So because of this, they are so much prone to mental health issues. They are prone to having anxiety. They're prone to having depression and so much. They're prone to having social, because of social skills, they may not know how to tell even like, okay, I'm having this problem. Can you help me out? No. So these are the impacts of a child raised in an authoritarian parenting style. So this is something to think about. And also, yeah, I saw the chats where people have said that I do this for bad behavior, but just doing this just for bad behavior, or as long as you explain to the child why you're doing this. Like, so for example, you've been telling your child, like, a person who shares, she said, like, if he's supposed to do, I take away TV time, but I do that. But as long as you tell him why you're doing this, it's not just that, because I said so, that's why you're not getting TV time. But then when you take the time to explain to the child that, listen, scratching others is not right. It's not a good behavior. This we don't do here. So because then you're not supposed to do it. So this is what your first conversation will be. And after that, if you tell them, at least they understand that, okay, my behavior is what led to this. Okay, mama told me that I'm not supposed to scratch, but I did, so I'm not getting TV time. That does not make you an authoritarian parenting. It's just putting it out, because I'm sure most of you tend to relate, be like, okay, I do this to my child. Maybe I'm authoritarian. Just putting it out there. So it also depends on how you deal with it. Are you giving an explanation to your child? Are you giving a context where the child can justify themselves as to why the child did it? Then you're not in the authoritarian parenting style. Okay. So yeah. So next we move to authoritative. This is otherwise called democratic parenting style. And here, based on the graph that and high parental response. And this is a child-centered parenting. Okay, so what happens here is the parent and the child taking in the child's inputs are also taken into their perspective. Their opinions matter here. So there is room, or maybe we can do this. So there's a healthy environment where the child also plays an equal role in this parenting. So when the parents say, okay, see, this is what I'm expecting of you, there is an explanation is given. This is why, because you're able to do this, this is why I'm expecting this from you. And at the same time, when the child meets the expectation, there is good amount of warmth and comfort from the parents, good response, like, good job, you did it. I asked you to do this, you met the expectation, so which is good. So they are able to celebrate with the children. They're able to give for the children to understand what they're doing. Have they done a good behavior or have they done a bad behavior? So because of this, they tend to have a very close nurturing relationship with their children. The parent-child interaction and the relationship is in good terms because of this. And also they understand, because parents give a chance for the child to express what they are feeling. That whatever, even if they're feeling bad, whatever they're feeling, there is a platform for them to express, saying, okay, mama, I'm feeling angry. That I'm not okay. I'm feeling sad. This is why I'm feeling sad. So they do. Children from this type, they know how to regulate their feelings, or at least tell what they want. So this is an overview of authoritative style. Can someone give me an example? It can be your personal experience, same, and how your children are, or how have you seen children from this type of parenting turn out? Okay. Kids learn to behave rationally. That is true. Anybody else? Or if you have been raised in an authoritative parenting style, how do you feel about it? Kids seem more happy. Yes, that's true. They learn to express their emotions. They're happy because they don't have to internalize anything. They can tell their parents how it is and what it is. There is more trust involved. Yes. So they learn to trust their parents, that they would understand what they are saying. Yes, this increases confidence, self-esteem. They understand, they accept their mistakes, and they try to correct it as well. Yes. So they get a environment where they're allowed to make mistakes, but also to learn from their mistakes. So yes, they learn to accept their mistakes. There's no fear that, oh my God, I did this, now I'm going to get this. I can't tell my parents. I should not tell them. But there's no place for that. Kids learn to speak their mind, share things. That's correct. Yes, my father was very strict, and because of that, we hid lots of things from him. Yes. So when you have a very strict parents, where like where you're not allowed to make any mistakes, or if you made a mistake, you're going to get punished for it. Children tend to hide things. People tend to change, lie, and all of that. So in an authoritative style, that is less. They don't do that because they're allowed to give. They're allowed to make mistakes, and they're allowed to accept it also. Sensorily, they feel seen, soothed, and valued. It helps their emotional regulation to develop. Yes. So if they're having a tough time, parents acknowledge it. They're like, okay, this is what's happening. Okay, let's see why it's happening. There is a place where you can express this is what is happening. So they're able to emotionally regulate them well. Rebellion. Okay, can you explain a bit more about this? Are you talking about the authoritative style, or are you talking about the authoritarian style, Ailey? Yes, authoritarian style, yes, they rebel when they are adults or when they are in their teens. Yes. And as adults, they are more confident and more in control of their lives. Yes. So they know what they want. They know how to put it across to the other person. They know if it's too much for them. So they are in control of their lives. They learn to do it, and they're more confident in whatever they want and how they put it. Thank you everybody for responding. So yeah, I think everybody has almost covered here. So children who are confident, responsible, and they're able to self-regulate. So yeah, so the responsibility, they are able to take up responsibility. They're able to tell them, okay, see, this I'm able to do. I can do this with confidence. And if they're not able to do, they will be able to tell them like, okay, this is too much for me. I will not be able to do that. Maybe I can do it some other time, or you can give it to someone, or maybe I can share it with somebody. So that is that they are able to do. They are independent and self-reliant because they've been given the place to express. They are very independent. They know how to do things by themselves. They know what they want and they can go get it. So yeah, and they're also very self-reliant, and their interaction with peers is very competent. So social skills, because they understand because they are given a chance. Parents have taught them like this is how you communicate. You tell me this is it. And usually their academic achievement, good school performance is high. So this is authoritative or the democratic parenting style. So the next type that we see is permissive or indulgent. I'm so sorry. Okay. So next is the permissive or the indulgent style. So same on the graph. So permissive has high response but low demand. Okay. So permissive type is where the power or the parenting power, it lies with the children. So authoritarian, the entire power lies with the parents. And in authoritative, it's equal. Whereas in permissive, it's completely more towards the children. So the power scale is tilting towards children. So here, parents try to be friends with their child. So there is very good amount of warmth, very good amount of comfort. Their response is there, whatever they want, they get, and all of that. But the expectation from the parents are very low here. So this type of parenting usually occurs when the parents have experienced strict parenting, when they feel that, okay, I did not get all of this, so my kids should get all of this. So the main reason as to why this type of parenting happens is this. Because they may have a very strict upbringing. So they may be like, okay, my parents did not take me here. My parents did not give me this. This toy was trending, but then my parents did not get me this. Maybe for any reason. So because of that, they would try so hard not to be that type of parent. So that is when the permissive or the indulgent parenting style comes to play. So here there is no strict rules. There's no rules as to what is to be done. This is where the line is drawn. They don't know that. So the kids are allowed to do, the children are allowed to do whatever they want to do. And the parents feel that, okay, I'll be a friend, so they can come talk to me whenever they want, but I'm not going to impose the rules. The children will figure out for themselves. So yeah, so this is one of the reasons why permissive parenting style occurs, and where the parents are more as a friend. And so they have this thing like, okay, if I start putting demand on the child, he or she may not look at me as a friend anymore. I may not get the connect that I'm getting from the child. So they tend to be very lenient, whatever. Okay, if the child wants this toy, yes. You want to go out, we'll take you out. Do you want to eat? Do you want to eat this? Okay, we will get you this. So that is the type of parenting this style has. So, so anybody with this type of parenting, or any professionals who has seen children with this type of parenting, or if you have experienced this type of parenting, how is this impacting the children? Okay. I think I have all the styles mentioned. Yes. So as at the end, I will be talking about. So there's not one particular parenting style that you can be. It can be a multiple. So it doesn't matter actually. It's just for you to understand the characteristics of each types. Okay, understanding social boundary with others. They may have difficulty in that. Yes, difficult for child to regulate and manage when others don't give him what he wants. Correct. Because permissive parenting, the children would not have heard no at all. So when a third person, when they go out for when they go for school or when they go out for anything, they hear the word no, they start to act out because they haven't heard the word no at all. They don't know how to take no for an answer. And yes, and also the entire permissive parenting style focuses on keeping the children happy. So there is no place for them to understand like, okay, there's like parents try to keep them as much as happy as possible, like the slight amount of anger or upset they give in. So they don't have a way of expressing their anger or sadness in an appropriate way. They don't know how to tell, they don't know how to regulate themselves. They will not know if they are angry what is to be done. They will not know. They won't know how to calm themselves down, or they won't know how to tell that, okay, I'm angry, this is the reason why I'm angry. They will not know that. Child loses self-discipline. Yes, because there's no rules, there's no boundaries, there's no, the parents do not tell them like, okay, see, this is how much you're allowed to do. Beyond this is not acceptable, or this is not right. So they don't know how to control themselves. In special needs school, I've noticed that parents indulge all bad food habits of kids. Yes, because it can be due to various reasons. They may not have the time to feed the children, like, okay, you need to eat this. This is healthy for you. So they just give the food that they will eat fast, whatever they ask. So bad food habits. Yes, that is one of the outcome of indulgence style. Okay. Thank you for all your responses. So yeah, you've pretty much given me the answer for it. So yeah, impulsive, because they don't think whether what I'm doing is right or wrong, or should I be doing this, or should I wait, should I ask someone permission. They don't. They are impulsive, they're demanding, because since they haven't heard no from them, so they think that, okay, I can just take whatever I want. I want this, I'll take it from you. I will not ask you because I demand, I take, I have the right for everything. So they do that. Selfish, because they're not taught to put or think about others. Because whatever they've asked, they've got it. They don't think about, okay, maybe I should keep some, or maybe I should share it with someone. Maybe they are not having it. Maybe I should share something. So since they don't have the concept, they are selfish and they lack self-regulation. Like I told you, they don't know to regulate their emotions. They cannot follow rules because no rules or no conditions have been provided to them by the parents. They will have a difficult time following the rules and have difficulty in self-control. And they will not think like, okay, am I allowed to have this? Okay, this is a social gathering. Maybe I should wait for others to start eating, or maybe I should wait for others to start doing this. They won't. And also, if they like something, they will eat or they will take too much of it. They will not think that, okay, others also have to eat, or others also need to take this. For example, in school, maybe they have to color, or they just take all the colors they want. They may not think that, okay, other children also need to choose their own colors. They won't have that. So they will just take whatever they want and they'll just keep going. So children with permissive style, these are the impact that has. So the last one, that is the uninvolved or neglectful style. So this is extremely rare, but nowadays we do see parents in this type of style. So in the quadrant, so they have low demand, low response. So they don't respond, they don't demand, they don't respond. Okay, they provide the basic needs for the children. They give them food, they get what they want, they get them toys and everything, but they don't demand anything from them. They don't give these expectations. Okay, I expect my child to do this, I expect my child to be like this. There's no demand and there's no response either. So they may not know what their child is doing. Maybe their child is very good at drawing. Child may have drawn something really well. They will not know, and it will not be acknowledged because they are detached from their children. So they don't have a disciplining style, or not much of an interaction also happens. So like sitting and spending time with their children, to taking the time to understand what their child is doing or what is the child's interest, it will not happen. So because of this, the reason can be anything, can be because of their own trauma, their own stressor, can be multiple reasons. But with this type of parenting, has like, there is a cut. The parents are here, children are there, but there is no connect here. Only there's only connect when they want something, when the kids want something, the parents buy. But why do they need it? Are they doing good? Oh, they're doing okay. Oh, my child has drawn something, maybe my child is good at drawing. No, they may not know, but they'll know that, okay, my child is passing all his exams, my child is in this class and all. But you ask more than that. Who's your child's best friend? What is your child's favorite food? What does your child like to do when he's free? Does your child like to read? What books does your child like to draw? Or what is his favorite color? What is his favorite hangout place? You take him to a park. Does he like to swing or slide? They may not know. They may not know about the child's interest. So this is uninvolved or neglectful style of parenting. Have anybody experienced this, or have you seen anybody, like your friends or neighbors or any professionals? Have you seen children who you are giving therapy to, coming from this type of background? How has it impacted? Child seeks attention, yes, because they don't get attention from parents. They try to seek attention in any way possible. You may have seen children acting out, throwing things in a social uh, setup too, because they want attention. They will do whatever it takes to get attention. Maybe at home, because of this type of parenting style, the only time they would have gotten attention from the parents is when when they are being bad, or when when they get complaints from the teachers, or if they are in a play school, when from the principal or the play school teachers, from there only then they may have got some amount of attention from the parents. So they try to do whatever it takes to get that attention. I have seen kids taken care by workers or caregivers. Yes, so most of them, they may not have that connect with the parents. They may have a connect with the caregivers, with the nanny, or with the caregiver who's taking care of them, with the babysitter. They seek approval and engage in risky behaviors. Yes, they do. Connection seeking, yes. So they would try so hard to have some connection, to get some form of attachment from anybody. So sometimes these type of children, they would go talk to anybody. They will not have the stranger anxiety, because they just want to talk to someone. They'll be overly friendly. Over familiarity can happen. They will not know, okay, this is where I draw the line. This person is a stranger. I can't talk to the stranger. Or even at school, they would just be friendly with everybody. They will not know. That can happen. Or they will engage in harmful behavior towards other children, because that would get the attention from the teacher. And then it goes to their parents, and that would get some attention from the parents. So this kind of behavior will happen. Thank you for your inputs. So yeah, so yes, so they will be more self-sufficient, because they were led to figure things out by themselves. So they'll know what they want, but the way to get what they want, it might not be socially appropriate. So they means lonely, sad, immature, have a difficult time adapting to social norms. Yes, because at home also, again, there was no line, there was no limits, there was no boundaries given at home. So they will not know what is to be done outside, or how it is to be done. So they'll have a difficult time adapting to social norms, and they'll have trouble controlling their emotions. Again, no platform, no place to express their emotions first. Or they may be, So in a way, like anger, sadness, they may not be able to regulate or control what they're feeling because they're angry. They'll keep throwing things. Because when I throw things, mom came and asked me what happened, or mom got me something because they're attention. So the controlling their emotions. Less effective coping strategies may have academic challenges because they cannot adapt to a social situation. They can't uh, in a social setup, like they can't mingle in a group without having a behavior or an act out. So they'll have academic challenges, and they'll have difficulty with maintaining or nurturing social relationships. So it can be too extreme. Either they get too much involved, too much friendly with somebody, or they are completely detached. There is no middle ground for them. Like they know, okay, to this person I should be friendly, to this person I should not be, but they won't. Either they're too friendly or they're too detached. So they will have difficulty in maintaining social relations. So these are the types of parenting styles, and this is how it impacts on the children. So I hope you understood all this. And so next is steps for effective parenting. So I put it in 3 points. That's all. So first is communication. So communication is basically interaction between you and your child. So always take time to sit and talk to your child, sit and play with your child. Nowadays, both parents are working, I understand, but when you come back from work, take time to engage with your child, interact with your child, try to ask your child what he did or what she did throughout the day. And if your child is non-verbal, if your child is not speaking, at least try to show them pictures. Maybe she colored, maybe she drew something. So try to ask pictures. Oh, did you do that? Good job. Acknowledge that your child has done something productive. The main form of communication is like that interaction that you have. It doesn't have to be always verbal. You sitting next to the child and playing with him or her, maybe involving in the type of play that your child is playing. Maybe the child is just stacking blocks up. Maybe he may not let you play, but it's okay. You can sit next to the child, you also stack up. The child will see that, okay, mama is playing with me. That interaction. And always communicate, like what if you are having an expectation from your child, tell them why you have it and how they can do it. So if they are not supposed to do something, tell them why. You communicate why they have to do, you explain it to them so they know why they have to do this or why they should not do that. So communication is very, very important. Second, be consistent with your discipline. So this, if you are saying yes to something, so for example, you are telling your child, okay, if you finish your homework within 1 hour, I will let you watch TV, or I let you watch video, YouTube, anything for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time period you give it. If they do it, yes. If you say yes, you have to keep your word. At the same time, if you say no, again, you have to keep your word. If you say, if you do this, I will not give you this. This is not good. You've been told, I'm not going to give you this. And you're not supposed to give that. So you should be consistent with your discipline. Your yeses should always be yeses. You need to keep your word. And if you say no, again, keep your word. So they understand that, okay, if mama says no, it's a no. No amount of crying or tantrum would change that. So they learn that, okay, this is a bad behavior, or this is something that I should do, I did not do. This is something I should not have done, I've done it, so I'm doing it. So they understand that whole thing of, okay, me, if mama says yes, she's going to do it. So that trust issue will come when you are consistent with your discipline and whatever you say. And then boost your child's self-esteem. So communication and consistency, which gives a place for your child to trust you, will boost your child's self-esteem. The other ways that you can do is validate what they are feeling. If they are feeling sad, let them express what they are feeling. Acknowledge their feelings. Don't brush it off like, no, that's okay. That's not what you're feeling. You don't know what you're feeling. If your child is coming to you and telling, Mama, Papa, I'm angry or I'm feeling upset, take the time to talk to them. And if they're asking for something, let them come ask you. So give them a safe platform, give them a place where they can approach you for anything. So they will know that, okay, I can talk to them without getting, without them telling me what I'm feeling is not good, or without them not acknowledging me. So the more you acknowledge what your child's needs are, the more self-confidence, the more self-esteem builds. So when they go out to other social setups, they will know how to regulate themselves, how to ask what they want in a proper manner, in an appropriate way, and they will be able to put across their feelings much better. So all of this will boost your child's self-esteem, which in turn will boost their skills, whatever skills that's required, be it academic, be it gross motor, fine motor, any skills. As a child having the self-confidence to try out new things will have good skill development. So these are some things for you to keep in mind when you go back after this webinar. Okay. And yes, so parenting is a very good thing. So you enjoy parenting. And as I said, there is no one way to parent a child, and you keep learning as you go. So you may think that, okay, I have authoritarian, I have authoritative, I have permissive, I have like bits and pieces of all of it. That's completely okay, because it's just not one way. You cannot always be an authoritarian. You can't have that only one type of parenting. You have a mix of it. And at the same time, it's also a learning experience for you. You learn, okay, this is working with my child. This is not working with my child. Maybe I should change the approach. So yeah, so this is how you learn, and this is how you and your child grow together. So I hope this was useful. And with this, we finish the presentation.
We can now open for questions. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box, and you can also raise your hands. And one by one, Miraclyn will answer your questions.
So Ailey had asked, can permissive parenting also occur when both parents are working and they find it an easy way out? Yes, so it can happen. It can happen. But so both, I understand right now, like both parents are working. Like in this situation, we need both parents to work because the cost of living has all become high. Yes. So you can have permissive and you can have authoritative together, but at the end of the day, when you both come back home, make sure you spend time with your children. Make sure you tell them that, okay, this is what we are going to do. This is how it's going to do. So you can't always get what you want. So you need to be this way. So according to you, according to your method, you can tell. So this is what I'm expecting of you, and this is how it's going to happen. So you can give small rules. It's not rules exactly, just boundaries for them. Because in a permissive type of parenting, the children get a lot of power. But the power in parenting has to be equal. Parents and children together, that's what the interaction works well. So you need to make sure that they have the space to explain, to express what they want. But at the same time, you also have to listen to what mama and papa are telling. You can't always get what you want. Even if you are throwing a tantrum, you're not supposed to give in always to what they want. And also you got to reason out to, okay, so this is the reason why you can't have this. And this is the reason why you can have this. So you can go either ways so that it becomes more of parent and child together. Okay. My son becomes angry for small things and starts hitting, scratching, and biting. How can I control it? Okay, so if you can sit with your son and you can explain to him why, first you need to explain to him why that is not a good behavior. So you can use stories. You can show him videos of how that is not good. You can slowly explain to him, like, but before that you need to see why he's getting angry. So teach him that when he is angry, he does not have to do that. He can tell you that I am angry. you can ask. So you can find out why was he angry. So it can be any reason. Maybe he was frustrated with something. Maybe he was not able to do something, or maybe maybe you said no to him or anything. So you need to go to the cause. Why was he angry? So you talk to him. You try to explain to him. See, this is the reason. And if you are angry, you tell that, okay, I am angry. Or if your son is not talking, you can maybe show him the emojis, the anger emoji. You can like stick it and you can tell him that you show that you're angry. We can talk it out, or we can explain it instead of doing this behavior, instead of hitting, scratching, and biting. So you can explain that to him, and you can also show him stories where this, instead of hitting, you can do this. You can try something else, or you can go drink water. If you are angry, you can come tell mama that I'm angry. So all of this. So try to change the topic, try to change the behavior, try to tell him the other ways that you can do instead of hitting, instead of biting, and instead of scratching. Yeah, so that is one way that you can do it.
Ma'am, that was my question.
Okay.
And he says that I'm angry, but after that he's not able to control his behavior. I tell him that you can drink water, or you can hug me, but he wants to hit or scratch or bite only. Once he does it, then he becomes normal. If he doesn't do it, then he starts hitting, biting, or scratching himself only.
Okay, maybe you can. So he tells you that he's angry, right? So you can ask him, what made you angry? So try to make him give you the reason why he was angry. So maybe if, for example, if he's playing with the toy or a building blocks or something, so he's not able to put it properly, or something is not coming his way. So if he comes and tells you that I'm angry, so you ask him why are you angry? And if he tells you that, if he's able to tell you, or you take him to where he was before he was angry, and you can show him like, see, it's okay, you just have to take this and you just have to place it. Next time, if you're not able to do it, ask mama, ask for help. You can come take mama, show this is what you want. So those things you can tell him, you can teach him those, asking for help, so that when he knows that when he's getting frustrated with something, he knows that he can ask for help. So that will not make him angry. You can teach him that. Or you can teach him if he's angry. Maybe you can do deep breaths. You can calm yourself down. Some calming strategies you can teach him. Maybe count to 10. Take a deep breath. Hold your breath for 10 seconds. Deep breath. Calm down. Calming strategies. So all of these you can tell.
Ma'am, he is not ready to listen whenever he becomes angry. He knows everything, but even if I talk to him, he doesn't let me to talk, and he only wants to hit at that time. He's not ready to listen to anything.
So you need to teach him all these things when he's calm. So at the time, I mean, even when we get angry, we may not be in the right space to listen to what the other person is saying. So when he's calm, you try to tell him. You can teach him the emotions. Teach him. So if you are sad, this is what you have to do. If you are angry, this is what you have to do. So when he's calm, when he's listening to you, or when you are playing together, you can teach him all those. Or when you're watching, when he watches cartoon or anything, if there's something like if someone is angry or some situation comes, you can use that as an opportunity to teach. Say like, see, this is what we do when we are angry. And if there's like a good expression of anger or upset or anything comes, you can teach him that, see this, for example, Peppa Pig. You see, Peppa Pig did that. So we can also try that when you are angry. So you can do that when he's not angry, when he's calm, when he's just playing. So all of that will help him.
All right.
Okay,
I would
ma'am.
like
Thank
to.
you.
Anu, I'm really sorry to cut you off here, but we do need to move on to other questions. I would request you to join us for our further webinars, and I'm hoping your question you will get the answer to your questions in our further webinars. because we will have a lot more topics for you. So, and Miraclyn, if I could
Sure,
direct your
ma'am.
attention to
Thank
the
you,
next
ma'am.
question.
Yes.
How to communicate if a child is non-verbal?
Okay, so subsequent webinars, there is speech therapists who are going to talk about communication and AAC and all of that in detail. So I would prefer if you would attend that webinar, because they would be much more expert in giving you tips in how to make communicate with a child if he or she is non-verbal. So I hope that would answer your question much better than me answering.
My 3-year-old son does not share toys with other kids in preschool. Neither does he allow other kids to play with his toys. How can
Okay, so this same like how I told you previously about the emotions, how you talk to your children about emotions, same like that. You can have the same approach with your children. You can teach them. Maybe you can start at home. If your son has a sibling, or if your son has a friend in the same building complex, you can make them play together and under supervision, like a play date kind of thing, where you give games where it requires that he has to share with the other child. Or for example, you can give a puzzle. Give half of the piece to your son, half pieces to the other child, so that he has to share. He has to ask, or the other child has to ask him to finish the same puzzle together. So give activities, give games which will require him to play with others. You can always tell, like same. So if you are giving TV time to your children, when they are watching TV, when you see the cartoons playing together, you teach the children, like they're sharing and playing. This is how you're supposed to do it. So all of that will help. Instead of us always telling, making them do it, showing them through pictures or through videos, or making them do along with another child, that would help him in generalizing it to other settings, like in school or play school or wherever he goes. So you can start off at home. Try to make him share, give him that. Or if your son does not have a sibling, if you give him a chocolate, tell, okay, half of it you need to give to papa, half you give it to mama, and then we will share. We will share and eat. Or if there's a new toy or something, see, you get 5 minutes. Let me try this new game for 5 minutes. We will share and play together. So you can start off like that and slowly bring in another child for a play date, and you can help that. So all of these skills will help him in sharing, will help him in understanding how to play with peers. So as we are saying, so there's 9 more topics left, and in that, play is another topic which is coming up. So if you join in for that, you will understand more on how to make your child play with other kids. So that would be more useful. So I hope you would join in our subsequent webinars to understand much more about all the skills that's required.
So I think we have 2 people who have raised their hands. Let's ask Minnie for her question, please.
Yeah, I quickly ask a question, Miraclyn. What if both the parents have a different parenting style? Say one is authoritarian and another is permissive. So what happens in that case, and what kind of suggestions are you going to give to the family as a therapist?
Okay, so there's always a confusion when it comes to this, because the mostly what happens is when as she asked, so fathers have an authoritarian where they are like, no, 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 you got to do this, and mother has a permissive, like, it's okay, you don't have to do this. So there's always a clash happens. So the child will know. So at this time, when this situation happens, child starts preferring one parent over the other. So the child will, so if the mothers are permissive, are very indulging, like very warm and everything, the child would prefer only to do certain things with the parent, with the mom. The child may not do things with the dad, because he's always saying, like, you is always rules. So what we have to do here is both the parents have to come in between. Like, you can have rules, but at the same time, not too much of rules. So authoritarian and permissive are like completely on the opposite spectrum. So where there is high demand in authoritarian and low demand in permissive. So high and low, you meet somewhere in the middle. You can be like, okay, this much the child can do. So let us keep this as the expectation from the child. Let him do this, and then from there, let's build it up, grade it up slowly, up and up. At the same time, there is very high response from a permissive style, whereas there's very low response from an authoritarian style. So again, in the middle. So if the child meets the expectation, father also has to acknowledge. Yes, maybe he can start by, he doesn't have to do much. Maybe he's just like, hey, good job. Like you did what you are expected to do. You did what I told you to do. You did it good way. Good job. So this can be tried, and that will help the child also understanding that okay, I am not only getting rules from dad, I'm also getting some amount of validation, some amount of acknowledgement I'm getting. So he would also try to start doing things with the dad, and also making the dad involved in playing with the child uh, in the terms of the child. If the child wants to just make the building block go like a car, let the dad also try doing the same thing. At least that connect will come from with the child and the parent. So a parent with two different types have to come to a middle ground and be like, so set realistic expectations. That's all. You set realistic expectations and you give the warmth and the response that your child requires based on what the situation is. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, yes, very much.
Next, Ailey Dennis, please ask your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, hi. It's actually a continuation of the previous question. The
Okay.
thing is that, see, when both the parents differ in their styles, now if
Yes.
the mother takes on the authoritarian style, the child is not able to digest it. So what do we do?
So
You
it
know, you
depends
switch
on
roles because you need to be
yes.
strict at some point of time.
Yes.
Because see, the child seems to agree if the alpha male is strict, he's fine with it. But if the female shows those alpha male traits, he completely rejects it, and becomes really very difficult for him to process why the mother is behaving this way. So what do you do in that case?
Okay, so one of the reasons why it can be is that because you may mothers usually tend to be more authoritative or permissive. So usually, so they've seen their moms indulge them in whatever they want, whenever they want, and all of that. And then all of a sudden, you put on a strict role like, no, 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 you have to do this. There is no other way. They may not know, they may not understand as to why the sudden shift happened. So you have to tell them, like, see, this is the reason, or you just tell them, see, this is what you're expected to do, but you're not doing this. So I have to do this. I'm doing this so that you'll do it. So you need to give them the reason as to why this has changed. They need to understand that, okay, I have to do this, but I did not do it. But I did not, or I was not supposed to do it, but I did it. That is why mom is angry. That is why mom is strict now. So you can teach the child, you can tell the children that, okay, see, this is what, as long as it is all of this, I'm okay with it. I'm happy, I'm jolly, I'm laughing with you and all of that. But if you cross this line, if this is the boundary, this is the limit for you, but if you cross this, then I'm going to be angry, or I am going to be strict with you. So they understand, like, okay, this is where I draw the line. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it does. The thing is, there's a spin-off of this in the sense that now if the child goes to school, okay,
Yes.
the teacher is strict. The child is not able to take it because he's so used to the women in the house being soft with him.
Okay.
So that's another spin-off of this.
Okay, so yes, that is one thing, is that before you send your child to school, you need to teach them. Like we usually tell them, right? Okay, see, you're going to school, there's going to be teachers, there's going to be friends, you need to listen to what they say and all of that. So you give them an overview of what the setting they're going to. Or you can see, they would have seen, I mean, I'm sure, because if you give them TV time or mobile phone time, they watch all of that, right? So you can show them a school setup and see that, see, this is your ma'am, this is how, this is your teacher. So you need to listen to what she's saying. You need to be quiet when she's talking. So you can give them, like you can prepare them before they go to a setup, so that they are in the mindset like, okay, they are not like mom. They're not very like they should understand that they're not like mom. They will not like be very accommodating to all my demands. Like I can't do that at school, because they don't understand. Like when they go to school, they don't understand like, okay, she's a teacher, I need to listen to her. Because till 3-4 years, it's only the parents and other relatives they've been seeing. And going to a school is a new environment for them. So we have to give them beforehand. We need to prepare them for what is coming, what is to be expected from a school. So that will give them a little bit of clarity, like, okay, this is how it is. And when they see the teacher doing what you are telling, it will make sense to them.
All right. Thank you so much, Miraclyn. I have posted the links to all our social media websites in the chat box and all our contact info. Please do go through them. Please do join us for further webinars.
Thank you so much for joining into the webinar. I hope this was useful and informative. So we started off with parenting styles because that is the foundation, because you and your child, you need the interaction, the communication. So we have 9 more webinars, so that you are going to see me again next week, but it's a different topic. So next week, we will be talking about body awareness. So from next week onwards, we are going into the specific skills that your child requires for all the goals to be achieved and all. So for that, the basic thing is body awareness. So knowing what your body is doing, how to do it and all. So please join next week, same time, for more information about body awareness and how you can use it with your child to develop more skills. Okay, so thank you so much for joining in. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.